Sup, weirdos? So this is like my first legit video. Yeah, so I've posted other stuff, just me drawing and edits and things, and I will continue to post edits. Hopefully, there will be a new one soon. But yeah, this is the first one I've actually done like a voiceover and like put a full thing together. So yeah, hopefully it doesn't suck. So Across the Spiderverse. Oh my gosh. Guys, this movie was amazing. Moving on to the first drawing. I don't know why, but like the first time I saw this movie, I was like, yep, I'm drawing this scene, this one specifically. Which, I mean, that happens sometimes. I'll watch a movie and be like, okay, I have to draw this scene. Like that happened on another Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man No Way Home. I wanted to draw the three Spider-Men doing the group hug. I actually did draw that. But yeah, for some reason, I really wanted to draw this scene. I really like the composition. I like how he's upside down and she's like right side up and they're like looking at each other but not looking at each other, you know, because he's invisible. I don't know. Something about it. I was like, yes, I'm drawing this. So here we are. It took me a second here to get Gwen's face right. I don't know why. I guess I should probably have looked up reference pictures before I started drawing. I put freckles on her face because she's got a few small freckles like on the close-up, and I honestly really love that detail. I think they look so cute. She also has very fun hair. I actually want to dye my hair pink now. I'm moving on to Miles. They kind of have the same expression, which I don't love that I did that. I don't know. I could have probably done that better, but you know, it's done and I'm not redoing it. So I loved drawing Miles's hair. Oh my gosh, so floofy. This was a pretty fast drawing. I was surprised how fast it went by because I guess it's not their full bodies. It's just like their head and their shoulders, which are like the easiest things for me to draw because I love drawing faces and facial expressions. Now I'm doing the colors. I'm only gonna color Gwen, like her line art, coloring that in and then coloring in the colors and everything. I'm just gonna do shading on Miles. I really get into the shading here. I usually just do cell shading, but I thought since this was like a quick, just like a bust thing to actually do like decent shading. Also, it kind of heightens the drama of the whole scene, you know? And so I really went ham on the shading here. There's like at least 3, 4, maybe even 5 different shading layers. So that was, I don't know why I did that to myself, but I'm really proud of it. It looks good. Then I copied the line art for Miles and made one of them kind of pinkish red and the other one blue, and I kind of separated them out a little bit so it looks a little bit kind of almost glitchy, which I think kind of matches the style of the whole show overall. And then I did these backgrounds kind of mirroring each of their worlds. So this is Miles's more comic kind of looking thing and like the spray paint, you know, and then I drew Gwen's kind of looks more painterly. I don't know if I mentioned this, but I love how painterly Gwen's world looks. Like, it's very beautiful and I love it. I drew the words here in kind of weird places. I wanted them to be like in the spaces, you know, where the characters aren't standing, but it kind of makes it hard to read, you know, because like you have to go down and then up. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think I'd rather have the words be like by Miles's chest and then by like Gwen's chest a little bit more, so it's like it's a more smooth transition through the words. But yeah, that's my drawing of Gwen and Miles. So now I'm drawing Hobie Brown. This guy, okay, so cool. Okay, the character designers knew what they were doing. They were like, yeah, let's just take Spider-Man, but make him like 12 billion times cooler. Ah, man, it just looks so cool. So I looked up guitar poses on Pinterest, and I found this guy just lounging in a chair playing the guitar. And I found this other pose that was just a picture of someone like looking up at the camera and giving a peace sign, but it's like facing their back and it's at like a cool angle. So I asked my friends and they said to do this pose, which yeah, this is a very Hobie pose. It's funny, when I showed the end product to my friends, one of them said it kind of looked like stubbier. In the show he's a bit more lanky. I don't know, I didn't do that intentionally, but he said it was kind of like a stylized thing. Yeah, let me know. Do you think he looks a little stubbier? So here I'm cleaning up the sketch. His freaking leg here gave me the hardest time, but I eventually figured it out. I drew him with his mask on. I would have loved drawing his hair, but No, no, man. Plus I really wanted to get like his spiky mohawk thing in there because I thought that was really cool. And like the little drips on his eyes, I think those are so cool. So here I am drawing his boots, and oh my gosh, where can I get these boots? Because I love them so much. I actually really love emo or like goth jewelry and like spikes and leather jackets and stuff. I think they're so cool. I need to go to Hot Topic more often. Here I'm outlining his guitar with like the little paper thing that he has in the show. For this chair that he's sitting on, I kind of wanted it to look like, I don't know, a granny chair kind of, but he kind of patched it up and made it look a little cooler. I don't know, it just felt right. And there's a lot of these little details that are hard to see. I couldn't find any really good reference pictures because he's in like weird angles, or like, because just the way he's styled, it's very hard to tell like where everything's supposed to be. I actually forgot a spike bracelet up on his right shoulder that I end up adding a bit later. Plus there's a lot of like weird little stickers on his guitar, and his pins, I couldn't quite tell what his pins were, so I just kind of made it up. Here I'm just coloring his line art, coloring in like the colors and the details and everything. There was a lot of detail on here, so it took a long time to color, but that's kind of what made it fun. I really enjoyed coloring this one. So for the shading, I kind of just did this little comic book, those little dot things that you see. There's a pen for it in Procreate, actually. I think it's called Newsprint. His name took forever to like spell out completely with all the weird little cutout paper things, and I was half tempted to just spell out punk, the word punk, with just spray paint. I actually did it a few times before I realized I hated it and decided not to be lazy. I actually wrote a lot of random stuff just to make those little news clipping looking things, and I found a picture of the Queen of England. I actually put that's what the K is on, you know, because he's British. I don't know, it seemed fitting. I added like a background, kind of got like weird ripped papers. I don't love how I did the background. I feel like it could be a lot busier, but I kind of got tired of trying to make things look like ripped out pieces of paper, and like I said, his name took forever to write, so I kind of got lazy at the end there. There's also a lot of blue and red. I wanted to do his like intended design, but I think I leaned a bit too hard into the blues and reds. Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? I added a few extra details, a little sticker over there, and it's done. Alright, last but not least, we've got Paviter. I love this guy so much. So his pose took me a second to try and think of, and then I ended up just doing, you know, a generic kind of Spider-Man pose. I don't know, the most you see from Paviter, he's like swinging around, he's kind of hyperactive a little bit, so this jumping pose felt, you know, kind of right. So, excuse the references up in the corner. I was actually watching YouTube while I was drawing this, so my phone was currently unavailable to show me references. Yeah, that's why there's references in this one and not references in the last two. So here I'm doing the main sketch, cleaning it up a little bit because, you know, I get really sketchy. I used to do this thing where I would do a sketch layer and then I do line art over the sketch layer. I would use like a pen tool, but the line art never looked like perfect, and so I decided to, you know, go the complete opposite way and make it a bit more sketchy looking. It's intentional now. It's messy on purpose. I don't know why. I just think being able to see the sketch lines is very like charming. It makes the art feel more human, real, and like warmer. So I'm doing his hair. Oh, I love his hair, so floofy. His feet, I don't know why, but I cannot draw feet. Like, I'm kind of okay with hands. I can do them sometimes. Like, feet, I can't, period. So I did my best. They kind of look wonky, but, you know, at least you can tell they're feet. So again, with the little details here, there aren't really very many good reference pictures online yet of like their character designs. And from what I could see, there's like this long kind of band on his right arm and then like a shorter one on his left arm. And I know he was supposed to have a watch so that he can, you know, hop dimensions, but I'm not sure if the watch is supposed to be under those bands on his right arm or on his left arm. I just put it on his left arm. I couldn't really tell, so don't at me, I guess. There were a couple details that are like a little harder to see. His spider didn't give me that much trouble. His shoulder patches though, those little blue like prints on his shoulder, I don't know what those are. but I could not find a good reference picture for them. So I kind of just winged it, and I'm hoping for the best. So here I'm like fixing his arm because I decided to flip the canvas, and oh boy, I'm praying, hoping for the day. One day I might flip my canvas and it might look okay, you know? But that wasn't today, so I had to fix that. His arm's looking a little better now. I'm coloring the line art. I just put that in alpha lock and, color it in. So I color in the line art. I'm coloring him in, his hair, his eyes, his mask. He's got these little details on his hands, which I also couldn't quite make out. But from what I could see, it's like it's kind of like a navy blue kind of stretching up his arm just a little bit, and there's like a henna type thing on his hand, which I think is a very cool design choice. For the background, it took me a second to try and figure out what I was gonna do. I looked up pictures of him. All of them had like the city in the background, and honestly, I did not want to draw a city. I don't like doing big landscapes, especially if they're all man-made structures and things. So I took a little inspiration from these henna designs I found online, and I kind of did almost a henna pattern in the background, and I think it actually fits really well. I think it looks really cool. I didn't really enjoy drawing the henna. It was kind of tedious a little bit. I could see how this can be like therapeutic almost for some people, but for me it's really repetitive and just boring. But yeah, that's just me. One thing I noticed about it though is the more detail you pack into it, the less it really matters if you're just a little bit messy. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect. The thing is, if there's one line that's just a little bit wonky, you're not gonna notice it because there's so many small details that you can pay attention to in the whole design. So that was actually really helpful that I didn't have to get it perfect. It was kind of fun to see the end product, so I guess the tedious drawing process was kind of worth it, because watching this kind of draw itself in like a time lapse, it was very satisfying, so I guess it was kind of worth it. But yeah, anyway, that's all done with Paviter. Let me know what you think. So that's my take on Gwen and Miles and Paviter and Hobie from Across the Spiderverse. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know. Leave a comment. I love hearing comments. Yeah, just let me know what you think. And thanks for watching. See you around, weirdos.